Hi, and welcome to Attention. I'm Pei, and usually on Fridays I'll be doing a tag, but I've been meaning to get to these reviews that I've been working on for a while now. And so I'll try to get a couple out next week, but for today we'll be reviewing J.D. Estrada's Given to Fly, an odd adventure novel. It's his 13th book, which he has published. He has two other novels out that are in a series titled The Human Cycle. Many collections of poetry. He has a bilingual book out, as well as a book called For Writing Out Loud, which is a collection of blog posts from a blog that goes by the same name. But the book we'll be talking about today is actually his middle grade novel, Given to Fly.
John Rivers is a kind and imaginative 11-year-old whose new home may be cozy, but there's nothing magical about it. What he doesn't know is that magic is actually closer than he thinks. After strolling up a hill near his house, he finds a cliff with a cove at the bottom with a huge tree growing over the water. What's special about this particular tree is that it currently serves as the resting spot for a house that defies logic while embracing the amazing. As curious as he is kind, one look at Old Manor is all it takes for John to jump at the chance to explore a new world of wonder.
It's a short novel that tells the story of John Rivers, or John No Mr. Rivers, and his quest to fulfill his wish, the wish to fly. This world that John encounters is one that sits sideways in a tree. And though strange on the outside, it only gets more unusual or more eccentric as he explores the interior of the house that he discovers. Meeting an array of characters, both in the literal sense and in the sense of a unique descriptor. John's wish becomes everyone's curiosity. Or at least for everyone that's in the house on its side in a tree. But it's not a tree house. Could it be called a tree house? I don't think he calls it a tree house in the book once. Huh. Alright. The story has John moving room to room with his newly acquired friend, Ferret Oddstein, asking each new friend that he encounters along the way if they can help him along in discovering how he can fulfill his wish. Now, the character of Ferret Oddstein is one that I think many readers would immediately recognize and feel familiar with. He's that kind of character that you get in many different adventure stories. Neil Gaiman capitalizes on these kind of characters in his novels quite frequently. If you're familiar with his work, that kind of character who's up for any kind of adventure, immediately liked and slightly off, if placed in normal society, would get an odd look. And such a character does very well in a novel like Given to Fly, pushing the story along at a very comfortable pace, making sense of the absurdities along the way simply by not questioning them, but fitting in with all the unconventionalities. And apart from that, often serves as a kind of moral guidance for John. Well, moral probably, I wouldn't consider him the Jiminy Cricket type, but could possibly be if it wasn't for John being such an innocent character already. In any case, he is a character that is immediately familiar and very welcoming. But my favorite character would have to be the father in the novel. With fewer moments in the novel, J.D. Estrada gives the father a very convincing and well-established character. And in a book as short as it is, it's a difficult task enough, let alone to accomplish in such few scenes as he does. There's a scene in the novel in which John arrives late after spending the day with Fayette, and the way his dad deals with it when he gets home is something that I'm sure a lot of people can relate to. Of course, the father's worried when John finally does arrive home, but he also keeps in mind that the kids will be kids, and he deals with it kind of while balancing the two very, very well. Now, it has been mentioned by many who have already read it that it is a novel that does take a conscious decision to avoid violence. And it deals with the heavier themes in a manner that may not be familiar in the movies or other novels, but is more familiar, at least when it comes to most individual experiences, with those who prefer to get where they are going in life without taking it from someone else, if that makes sense. What I mean is that it deals with those heavier themes which do come up in the novel in a more humane way, I guess. Now, apart from the three characters that show up throughout the novel, Ferret, Oddstein, John, and his father, the other characters seem to serve as these almost little puzzle pieces to help John put together an understanding of how he's going to achieve his wish or his dream to fly. The first character he meets after leaving the living room full of living furniture is a bookworm, but is a literal bookworm. And upon first read, when you don't realize exactly how many more characters and how many more rooms are in this magical house, you would think that this bookworm was of no help whatsoever. It is only after when John has finished visiting every room in the house, has met every strange character that lives within, that he's able to kind of put everything together and realize kind of the reason on why he ended up stumbling upon this adventure in the first place. Now, there is a few more things I want to say about the book, but realizing it'll give it away, it does look like there'll be maybe I don't know if it'd be fair to call it a spin-off from the book, but possibly featuring Ferret Oddstein. One thing that John does learn, primarily through one particularly winged character, but as I stated just a moment ago, he does actually really learn it all throughout, is that what you wish for in life is rarely achieved on the road that you yourself have paved. But that doesn't mean that is the only road that will take you there. In the end, you may find what it is you are looking for, even if it's something you don't recognize right away. Now, I don't recall another middle grade novel that I've read, at least not recently, though I'm sure I have, but I could say I could definitely see what had inspired much of the imagery, as I can see this kind of story play out in a kind of a Studio Ghibli type of film, which after reading the novel I'd actually read someone else saying the exact same thing, so I know I'm not alone in thinking that. For what it is, I would definitely recommend for anyone interested, especially anyone that has kids. But of course, it's equally just as good a book to read for someone like myself. It's just needs to lighten up a bit every now and then. But yeah, I definitely enjoyed the novel. It was a quick little read, and definitely a nice little break from that ultra violence and whatnot. And I would highly recommend, if you need one of those, then definitely pick this one up.